Hello, beautiful, beautiful, multi-dimensional beings, quantum access beings, starseeds, light warriors, and light workers, incarnated, reincarnated. Welcome back, or hello if you're new to another channel reading a message for you, beautiful souls. I'm going to be pulling you cards today from a couple decks and really getting a message through right now, connecting with your energy, you guys. I read for the rising souls of the collective. Those of you, most of you already know the drill, you guys. You guys are accessing your subatomic consciousness. You are remembering so much. You're connecting to your quantum consciousness. You're revealing the secrets of our consciousness, the universe, our natural nature. You guys are gifted and are chosen to be gifted certain experiences that have revealed this to you. Your perception of this reality and this incarnation is very, very special. Your brains are wired differently. You are working and operating out of a heightened state of consciousness, which means that you're receiving and perceiving energies here that not everyone can receive and perceive or are sensitive enough to tap into. You are receiving signals and energies within your body all the time. And you guys are able to divinate your reality and your mind and your awareness and your body, because you understand everything is connected. We have quantum entanglement, bottom deck energy over here in this other deck. Quantum entanglement, simultaneous connection, mirror, experiencing non-localized consciousness with another source or within source. So you guys are experiencing non-localized consciousness, meaning you can kind of expand your awareness outside of yourself, your vessel. You guys, with this quantum entanglement, this is what we're saying about you being a receptor of energy. You guys can divinate your body and your reality because you're aware that, you know, every time we wake up, we're coming back to this agreed upon timeline projection of the conscious mind. Hello, we're here again. But you guys are also in many other parallel dimensional planes, and a lot of you are remembering the work or the higher self work you're doing. And a lot of you are doing a lot of higher self work and maybe tapping into those experiences now from the past, or you're aware that you're doing higher self work, but maybe are not aware of all of the higher self work you're doing, right? Because you guys are a spirit team or a spirit guide. A spirit team, interesting. You guys are a spirit guide for many people incarnated, and you connect with the spirit realms. You guys could practice mediumship or have had some interesting experiences throughout your journey or your life to do with spiritual experiences, because these experiences kind of find you throughout your journey, okay? This connection to being quantumly entangled, like these experiences are finding you throughout your incarnation because of the way you're able to perceive and receive and feel energy that's here, that's so subtle, you guys. With the quantum entanglement, we're talking about everything starts from this divine atom, or, you know, the divine source. And it's kind of like if you split an atom and you do one thing to one atom, the same thing happens to the other one. And you guys are kind of coming into this soul conscious remembrance that we are connected to everyone and everything, that we are all quantumly entangled. And it's through quantum entanglement that you are noticing and feeling things within your mind, consciousness, and body that you're able to divinate, because you're aware that you feel the impact of things happening to you that are quantumly entangled to you. Does this make sense? So let's say, for example, Merkaba activation, transcendence, ascension, you're rising up. This like is kind of saying like, you guys, you feel the changes of the seasons within your body. Some days you could wake up and you feel a particular energy happening in the background, or a particular fieriness, or a particular emotionality. And it's like you are quantumly entangled with everything in this universe, and you're actually receiving in your body the effects of other things that are around you, other people in the collective. When people go for awakenings within the collective, you feel it within yourself, within your body. You feel like planetary alignments and things happening to the Earth's magnetic field or to the Earth, you feel inside yourself, because you're remembering we are all connected and connected to everything. There is no separation. A lot of you are coming from Pleiadian roots or starseed roots, you guys, or blue light being roots, and we have those light codes, bottom deck energy over here as well. So this blue energy is really significant for you. And again, I'm seeing a blue moon in my mind as well. So moon energies, and very connected to this lunar energy. What is coming through with that lunar energy? Lobsters and crabs. So random, but not random. They could have been a synchronicity for you guys. Lobsters and crabs, or sea creature beings as well. They could be connected to some of your starseed family, sending you synchronicities. But yeah, you guys are quantumly entangled. You are always receiving information through your body, and you guys experience a lot within yourself, your mind and your soul. And you know, you've been tuning into your divine blueprint, you guys. So let's pull a card out of this Golden Future Oracle. You guys are part of the Golden Future. You're understanding times working in a non-linear way. Honestly, you guys, in general, you are almost operating like the subatomic consciousness, okay? You are non-localized, okay? You are non-linear. Like, if you were in this world, I would say you would not be an atom, you would be a subatomic particle, right? In the way that you're consciously operating from that space. It's kind of interesting, because you guys, as much as you have maybe logic, you understand the paradoxical nature of the universe, because you're understanding yourself as well, and yourself to be a paradox. You operate in a non-linear way. You guys, your brain is working actually very, very differently, because it's like you're receiving energy that you can translate then into words, or then into something. It's like if someone is speaking to you, you get frequencies of emotion, and you can arrange those frequencies of emotion inside your mind into many different orders of structure of sentences, words, things you could say from that same energy. The thing is like your brain is not working in an autopilot linear mode. Your brain's working in a very manual, non-linear way, you guys. It's like people without an inner monologue, when they need information, their brain just brings it to them. But for you guys, you have access to everything all at once. And it's like you have to sift through the information. It's like, yeah, your brain is not working in this state of autopilot, which isn't in a sense of saying like zombie-like or this or that. Autopilot is essentially like, your autopilot is essentially like your brain is kind of doing unconscious work for you. Like, you guys, the subconscious does a lot for us, but people who are not tapped into their subconscious, you know, their subconscious is kind of bringing things forward for them, and, you know, kind of doing certain things where it's we consciously have to put the input into our subconscious, or we can have access to our subconscious all the time and walk through it. It's like every time you go into the back of your mind, all information is available to you from past, present, future, everything all at once. You are always connected to everything that's ever happened to you. You feel everything. You feel the weight of existence, of the collective. You feel every past experience you've ever had, and you carry these with you, and you're able to access them all the time, you guys. Your brain is very non-linear, and this is what we're saying. You're not just grounded in this reality you're in and here right now. This reality is like a pinpoint for you, but everything inside your mind is very, very non-linear, you guys. And your brain does work very differently and is very, very, very special, you guys. And again, you're really operating in this quantum access type of way. That's why I call you guys and introduce you guys and greet you as quantum access beings, because you are literally accessing the quantum realm, or subatomic information and frequencies of energy inside of yourself, your heart and your mind, you guys. Not everyone can do this. And the thing is you've been born this way. What's that advert? Maybe she was born this way. Maybe it's Maybelline. you guys were born this way, and I think that it's only going through your incarnation that you're realizing, because we cannot have any other perception of experience other than our own. But actually, you guys operating in a very non-localized way, you may actually be able to tune into other people's minds. You may be able to sit in other people's programmings, view, perception, or mind space, and feel what that's like. And it's like, in this way, throughout time, you've been realizing actually you are a quantum access being. You have very, very special gifts that are natural to humans that we've forgotten about, that you are still accessing. And we said about this in another reading. You speak in an ancient language, the ancient language of energy, and it's something you've never forgot. Telepathy, empathic abilities. Throughout the duration of the evolution of time, we've needed these less and less and less and less. And not only that, but in our societies of very brash energy, everything's so big and loud that it kind of tones out the subtle energy. But for you guys, the subtle energy you're very clear and tuned into. And you guys, you were born being able to communicate in a higher fifth dimensional or above way. Speaking of telepathy, you guys were the observers growing up. And it's like, you guys were the observers. Something could have happened at the age of 3, or there's kind of like this sense of you having a heightened observer or inner observer from your first kind of acknowledgement of consciousness, right? So say like your first memory, it's like in your first memory, it could actually be a memory where you're speaking inside your mind to yourself alongside with a visual of something. Like, you guys have always had this higher awareness. And actually for you guys, yeah, in a lot of spiritual teachings and things like this, we're taught to transcend, to enter our higher observer. But for you guys, you've always been in your higher observer. And for you guys, it's actually been an act of coming down to your experiencer, or connecting your experiencer with your higher observer, because you guys are the observers of the collective and of consciousness and of the experience. It's like you're experiencing through observer mode, not experiencer mode. And you know, this is where we get into those splits in consciousness, the higher and lower consciousness, you guys. The lower consciousness being the experiencer, and the higher consciousness being the observer. And you know how one creates the two, everything's created from these two. Was that black hole, white hole type of energy? The yin and the yang type of energy coming through. But you guys have always been in your higher observer, and it's like, that's why, because your higher observer is the space where of quieter thought, where you can receive subtle energy frequencies, telepathy, empathic information, and also subtle frequencies of subatomic energy. Yeah, that's what we're saying. The higher observer. So it's like when you're thinking to yourself in that higher observer mode, the things you notice, we said this before in a room, the things you look at, they're energetically charged. The things you notice, you're drawn to, your awareness is pulled to, because you guys have a sense of feeling energy, feeling charged energy. If someone's holding a lot of energy inside of them, you can feel that and see that very strongly, even if somebody else doesn't notice that in that person. The same as you can see maybe an item in a shop, in an antique shop or something, and feel a very big energy around it. Because it's so charged up, like you can feel electromagnetic frequencies. That's what we're saying. You can feel electromagnetic frequencies, and electromagnetic frequencies are also carried through sound, right, through words. So everything spoken in a room is an electromagnetic frequency that's been put out into a ripple. And it's just that no one can see or feel these ripples, but you can. You can feel and see these ripples. Maybe see them as well, you guys, as energy waves, auric fields, right? Electromagnetic frequencies, what we're talking about, everything's energy, and there's a special connection you have to electromagnetic frequencies, you guys. Plasma, life force energy, consciousness, science and spirituality. You are the bridge. The mind is the bridge where you're able to perceive through this reality in this vessel. And as your consciousness is in your mind as this observer, what they're experiencing and perceiving, it's very interesting, because Your mind is acting as this bridge between the veils, you guys. And that's what we're saying. Being a quantum access being, we don't have any conception of other people's minds or experiences, but I think it's been revealed to you through time. You're accessing a lot in your mind, a lot. You have very vivid imaginations. You have very vivid inner realms. And this is like we said in that other reading. Look, psychic gifts. You are here and you're also in a space that's not here. You know that there's another space that exists that is not here, right? That's what we said in this other reading. Past the veil, past the veils, in the energetic planes of dimension. And you guys, you've always been connected to these planes, and you tap into them even in your waking state, in daydreams, and in your dream state as well. But you guys have psychic gifts, and I feel like this is something that's fully actualizing and that you fully realized. It's like you guys, even when at points before you realize this, like telepathy, empathic abilities, you've improved them, because it's like you'll think of something and then someone will say it just after, and you know that they've been down the same thought trail to get to that point, but you brushed it away and never said anything. And it's like you always get confirmation on the fact that you're tuning into other people's inner minds, inner perceptions, right? You're tuning into their frequencies, their energies. You are non-localized. That's what we have to say, this reading. You are non-localized, you guys. So this is learn to trust your intuition, psychic gifts. And I also feel like this is, yeah, we have education here as well. Underneath that, we have manifestation and mind control. And then we have teleportation, you guys, and levitation. So there's a message coming through. Also, some of you could be having very vivid dreams right now. Seriously. But you guys, your psychic gifts, there's something about you being taught these, you learning about these, or you unlocking these, or not unlocking them, but realizing how you're already doing them. Like a lot of you are already tapping into timelines, future timelines, infinite potentials of alternate reality timelines. You are always non-localized in the fact that the light particle travels infinite pathways, okay, and so do you in the mind, yet the physical particle, the light wave travels infinite pathways, but the physical particle travels one, right? Like us, the physical vessel of us travels one pathway, but you mentally are non-localized and you experience all pathways. This is very, very interesting to experience. That's what you're saying. You've been learning how you've already been doing these things, because this comes into play with a lot of the dynamics and situations we go into. Because you guys, like I said, you guys feel things and situations in every single version of yourself. Say you go for, let's say there's a friendship or a relationship. You feel actually the progression of those timelines in infinite ways. And you don't just have to process the emotion through your particle in what singular timeline it travels through. You also process all the emotional energies and triggered dynamics through all of the other infinite timelines of energy that you're living through in alternate parallels. And through this one vessel, you're emotionally connected to all of them, you guys. So it's very interesting how you're quantumly entangled, to all of these versions of yourself, and you're also receiving and picking up information. It's been proven in the double slit experiment when that light wave that energy waves are traveling in infinite paths, to that backboard. It's like they travel, the light waves are traveling in infinite paths, but they're also communicating with each other. That's what it's proved. They're also communicating with each other. So not only are infinite parallel paths lived in parallel to each other, they also interact with each other. And you're receiving this information from past, future, and present timelines of energy, you guys. So it's very interesting because your experience is expanded. You experience infinite things from one experience, and you process so many different energy dynamics from one experience in different parallels or experiences. But like with this education, it's saying, you guys, is like not only this, but your education system for some of you could have suppressed your psychic gifts in some ways, or the opposite. You could have felt like some form of system or structure was very suppressing for your psychic abilities or gifts, okay? But at the same time, it was also enhancing them. Because a lot of you, it's this space of astral projection. When you're forced to be in a place or waiting, or your mind, you need stimulation. Your mind is very, very active. We said this before, you have a restless consciousness, and that's no way in a negative way at all. You have a restless consciousness in the fact you're a curious soul. You're natural engineers, explorers of the mind, explorers of the world. You're natural creatives. You are natural scientists. You're the reincarnated scientists, astrologers, record keepers, creatives, and what's that other word I'm looking for? Not architecture, education. You guys, we'll move on from that. Anyway, you guys, you are the creatives. Yeah, so when you're in a space where you're kind of waiting, or you're forced to be there, say you're in a classroom, it's like, yeah, you're engineers. That's what I was looking for, you guys. Engineers. You are the engineers. And to be an engineer, what? You are a curious soul. You always question things, and you're always trying to find out how things work from the start back down through reverse engineering. Like, you guys understand situations or dynamics in your life through reverse engineering them, following them back down to their root. You guys are very metaphysical, and you naturally break reality down into its metaphysical nature. And yet when you're in situations that are so unstimulating, yet overly stimulating at the same time, underly stimulating for the soul, yet overly stimulating for the body and the vessel, it's like your soul escapes those places. This could also be in a workspace as well. This doesn't have to be an education system. There's somewhere where it was underly stimulating emotionally and for the soul, yet it was overly stimulating maybe for the actual body and the vessel, right? It's kind of bringing through that matrix robot system, we're expected to not be cyclical beings. But yet again, it's emotionally and mentally and at a soul level understimulating. And so you learn to astral project in these spaces of education or in workspaces, because that's daydreaming. You would literally be somewhere and you would astral project out into these daydreams. It's like someone could say your name and you're not there. I'm tuning into someone actually who was in class or somewhere or in a workspace, or this could have been their family as well. I'm seeing someone in my mind. I'm seeing someone like speaking to someone, and you're out of it. Like, you're in another place, and they're like, hello, or someone, like a teacher's just asked you a question. The whole class is looking at you, and then you look around and you're like, why is everyone looking at, right? Like, you literally learn to astral project within situations that were out of your control. Look at this, manifestation and mind control as well. That's what we're saying about this education. It's like, in many ways, you've been learning that you're always spiritually gifted, you guys, or always psychically gifted. That's our natural nature, right? And so you have these abilities that are connected to manifestation and mind control. What can we see mind control as? We're seeing that as mind reprogramming, you having control over your subconscious, subatomic energy, which creates atoms and physical energy. So you literally are accessing the building blocks of reality inside your mind and self. You are literally like a liminal lucid creator in this incarnation, you guys. And a lot of your abilities and psychic abilities, you've always had them. It's been a case of learning what you were actually already doing and finding out not everyone's doing that, There are a lot of us who are, though. And the thing is that all of us can, it's just some of us have forgotten, yet you've remembered. And I feel like you've remembered because, again, you communicate in fifth dimensional and above ways. You always have. You've always experienced that. And so with this psychic gifts card, I really want to read that as well, you guys. But there could be something about this teleportation and levitation, expand your gifts and powers. You see, there's a lot coming through about education, psychic abilities, or gifts. It's like breaking these down, finding these out. Maybe some of you, I'm getting through psychometry as well, or like you guys are very gifted in that way of maybe pattern recognition, psychometry, pattern recognition. You guys are very metaphysical. You break reality down, or situations or anything. It's like anything put into your vessel, you break down into its metaphysical roots without trying to, you guys. And in that way, you've learned a lot, but you've also learned a lot about seeing the patterns, because every time you follow something down metaphysically, you see everything's kind of following the same pattern here, and you're good at pattern recognition. And so in that way, that's maybe what's allowing you to be tapping into this manifestation and mind control as well. So with the teleportation, levitation, this is about your psychic gifts. These are connected to this. So this could, you guys, you could have always loved something like playing an instrument, listening to music, or doing something like drawing or creative or reading, because that could also be what helped you learn to astral project as well, or access the quantum space or other parallel timelines. It's very hard to explain, but you guys, it's like when you do something, you drift away. How I can relate this to is like sometimes when I'm drawing, sometimes I zone out into the astral and I flash back in, and it's like I've progressed the drawing but in autopilot without meaning to. It's like sometimes, this is a bit dangerous example, but sometimes we can drive somewhere in autopilot and forget how we got there, or walk somewhere in autopilot because we like zone out to the astral and come back to this vessel. It's like some of you could play an instrument, or like this could have been in throughout school, you loved arts more, or writing or reading. It's like you could escape within these energies. There's something about this energy allowing you to access the quantum or the astral space to a deeper level, you guys, that you found. It's like a secret pocket oasis. Oasis, like some of you, it could have been the band Oasis. Like there could be music that's relevant, listening to music. Maybe some of you listen to certain binaural beats and transcend, or you know, you allow music to transcend. Some of you have learned how to tap into timelines through music, because certain music is energy gateways. They're windows to a certain emotion. And what are emotions? They're frequency. And so you can listen, let's say you have a love situation or a family situation going on, we'll just relate it to relationships, right, or something. You can listen to a certain song that connects you to the emotion of that energy, and whilst you're listening to that, you could zone out into timelines to do with this, that you start channeling information about the dynamics going on or something. It's like you are able to use resources to tap into the quantum, as well as you just zoning out and doing this through meditation and things like that. But yeah, you guys, so there could be something about that teleportation, levitation. Let's read out this psychic gifts card for you guys as well now. 1 second. Out of this golden future oracle. Oh look, manifestation and mind control, we opened that too. Wow, I kind of feel like this is relevant now. This is a card of power. Receiving it is a reminder that you have untapped gifts you can develop. This is so weird that we went to read the psychic gifts card, and now that we're reading the other card that we pulled out, yet it's still related. So you guys, you have untapped gifts you can develop. It's time to bring forward the latent possibilities within you. Your guidance is to practice deep relaxation, spend some quiet contemplation, and do visualizations. Wow, mind control confers enormous influence. It must be used with wisdom and only for the very highest good of all. Before you apply this gift, ensure you are living in a fifth dimensional way, in cooperation and oneness with others. Then bring in your 12 fifth dimensional chakras. Picture them getting bigger and brighter each day until you feel your navel chakra has become bright orange. Then ask Master Merlin. No way, are we channeling Merlin? When I was getting all my cards out, I thought about Merlin. This is crazy. And then I was like, do I pull my Oracle deck of the dragons? And I was like, no, I don't feel like I need to. And now he's come through in a completely other deck. You guys, you work with dragon spirit guides, and Merlin is really close to you, and he could come form in a non-dragon form as well. Wow. So then ask Master Merlin, the great alchemist and magician, to oversee you for the highest good of all. When you practice manifestation, utilize to help the world. Wow. So this is about higher manifestation techniques. Individuals and communities will create a picture of what they want in their navel chakra, and will then use their kundalini power to take it up through to the third eye, into the high frequencies of the soul star. Do you get that, guys? Whatever this, sorry, I'm unfamiliar with the term navel chakra. I'm unfamiliar with that. But let's say, for example, you feel something in your sacral chakra, a desire, a feeling of desire. When it's talking about moving that energy up through your chakras to your third eye, it's talking about moving emotions and feelings into a visual space. So it's talking about moving emotions we have into a visual space where we can see that. And once we see that, you are literally unlocking that timeline, that reality, and you start to manifest that into your physical conscious reality. So you guys, yeah, what you visualize or what you can tap into very visually inside yourself, you actually do create, manifest, and see happen in your reality. And so that's what it is. You're pulling energy up through your chakras, right? You're pulling them into your third eye space. You're visualizing them, and then you're powering them with your will, right? Your life force energy, to be able to see those come into fruition, to align with those, to attract those, to feel at one with those already. Because you understand as well, the mind does not know the difference between imagined and real. It literally doesn't. So anything we imagine, our body and energy and emotional state, our body and inside processes as real life. So you guys, you're actually creating your reality through your psychic gifts of visualization. And that's what he's doing here now as well. We can see that. He's connected to his third eye space. He has his eyes closed and he's connecting to his visualization. There is a very powerful gift you have with visualization, you guys. I'm seeing someone take a step aside to take time intentionally to visualize something. It's like the more you tap into this, the more you're blown away, because it's like, you guys, you have this ability, and it's like we all have these abilities. Maybe we forget to utilize them. It's like you guys are utilizing these, and you're going to start utilizing them to a deeper level. The actual fact is, it takes energy to visualize or to tap into or translate frequencies into light form, because that is one level of materialization, right? From frequency into an actual depiction of light energy that creates that perception of vision, right? We've already materialized it to a point. It takes energy, but it's like I see you guys actually taking intentional time out to do this. Some of you do this without trying in daydreams, but some of you, you're co-creating in an intentional way now, where it's not just the things you're daydreaming about. It's like you sitting down and saying, right, if I could actually imagine anything, I'm going to imagine something like from scratch myself and manifest that through visualization. So there's something about that, right? Now let's go to the psychic gifts. We literally flicked a page and it was to it. So this says, choosing this card indicates it's time to ask Archangel Muriel, the beautiful pink and white angel of love, compassion, and harmony, to help you develop your psychic chakras and have confidence in the guidance you receive. I feel like for you guys, it's more having confidence in the guidance you already receive. You already receive a lot of knowings, predictions, or intuitive guidance yourself. So she enables you to see with new eyes and to trust your sixth sense. To trust your sixth sense. So center yourself and clear your mind. The more deeply you relax and soothe your thoughts and emotions, the easier it will become to bring forward your psychic and spiritual gifts. Be very aware of your gut feelings and act on them. Observe your psychic impressions about people and learn to trust what you receive. Practice looking through and slightly beyond people and trees to sense what their auras reveal. Validate your flashes of intuition and they will become stronger and more frequent. Sometimes you pick information up about people and it feels like a flash of emotion inside that disappears. And so it can be hard to validate those as concrete because it can feel like a passing feeling or a fleeting feeling, you guys. But actually, that fleeting feeling taps you into very complex programmings and dynamics. And I feel like you guys read people very well. Something to be mentioned, I don't know if this is relevant for everyone else, but if we're meeting on this frequency, then you know we're quantumly entangled. What I find has helped me grow my psychic abilities and intuition, especially in discernment, is that as light workers, we're very aware of our own lower consciousness and programmings. And so a lot of the time I used to disregard my intuition and say, you know, maybe this is a projection of shadow programmings. And in that way, a lot of the time I would ignore my intuition when I'd actually been prove it right, you know, we're proven right after the fact, and then it's like, because sometimes we don't want to, you know, practicing self-love and tapping into a space of actually being a person with so much love. I feel like we start to see people at their soul level. But you guys, you know, in general, we pick up on a lot of information that isn't necessarily judgmental or from a shadow aspect, that actually is our intuition. And I feel like vice versa, you know, as well. This can work in all types of ways. What we're really talking about here right now is separate from this specific example, a deeper, higher level, you guys. This is that you understand that the mind is a very complex minefield to navigate, because we do have conditionings and programmings. We do have the limit of our own perception, but you guys must realize that although we all have projections and programmings in how we perceive other people in reality, you have a parallel coexisting nature to separate and move between one or the other. So as much as you are consciously aware and familiar with your own dynamic soul cycles, maybe, you know, wounded cycles, and you're also aware and able to connect to a space of perception that is unbiased from your limited programmings, you must understand that you're in a parallel experience. And this is interesting, and what I was channeling as well with my spirit guides the other day about this was that you will have people in your lifetime who come into your reality that you feel like they see you straight away, okay? They actually see you, and they see you and you feel them seeing you in the same way you feel yourself to be at a deep level. These are soul tribe people. It's like we just feel like they know us, they see us so easily. And then there's other people, okay, who will come into our existence and our incarnation who cannot see us. They have to build a projected perception of us based on their own programmings. And it's funny because when this is the case, even with soul tribe, okay, if soul tribe come to reality, the people who see us, they will never mistake their programmings for the actual true perception of us. This is the difference. You are one of those people who will never mistake your projected programmings for someone else's full truth, right? And this is what we've been discerning through this journey, is that you have this separate nature to yourself, this parallel nature to yourself, because and it is separate, because and not to create separation, but it's like if someone comes into your reality, you know, you're able to see them from a higher self truth level, but you're also able to tap into your projected perception of them, which is what we tap into and say, oh, maybe this is what I'm here to learn from this person, or this person triggers this up in me, maybe I'm here to learn this. But those soul cycles and those teachings, you actually feel is separate to the perception of that actual person, because you're understanding things from a higher soul level. And it's like, you guys, you as well, you have people in your incarnation who will meet you, who will be able to see you so fully clearly. And even in their soul tribe, even if they have their own subconscious soul dynamics coming up, because we all do, because we're all collectively working and clearing the same karmic energies, even when they have those come up, they do not attach them to you nor associate them with the perception or projection of you. They understand it's something within them. And so what I'm seeing as well is like a lot of you have done a lot of clearing with your psychic gifts to be able to tap into yourself, to see yourself in this way as well, to see yourself in the view of detached from your programmings or conditionings. Because there's a lot of people who, like, okay, this is what we said at the beginning, you can enter other people's perceptions and minds, okay, and actually feel those. And so it's kind of like these weights we carry when people come in our reality and they do not have they can't see us, and so they have to build a projected perception of ourselves that is actually a projection of their own blind programmings that they mistake to be us. And you know, sometimes people can see us in distorted views, which then we kind of carry, but being connected to your psychic gifts has actually connected you to the perception of yourself through an undistorted lens, through your spirit guides lens, through your soul tribe's lens, who actually see you at a soul level, you guys. And this is where you've learned to trust your intuition, because maybe there was people who you carried projections from their own perception of their programmings that went against your psychic abilities or nature or energies, right? So it's like you have an angelic, you're an angel. You have tapped into the angelic frequency to really bring a lot of love to yourself and undistorted perceptions, which is allowing you to actually trust your intuition and have these psychic abilities. Even though it seems all random, everything is connected. And yeah, I just feel like that's what you guys are experiencing. You have this parallel nature, but it's to differentiate these differences, because you know, you can be the experiencer or the higher observer, or you can interact and communicate with both of them. That's what we say. You have conversations within your mind with yourself or with the collective or with spirits, because it's not just a linear. It's like, you guys, you don't only just have a linear inner monologue. You actually have an inner monologue that interacts with other aspects of yourself, where you can converse with other energy aspects, higher to lower consciousness, higher dimensional beings, other people's higher selves. You can also interact with frequencies of other people inside your mind. And this is what we talk about, clearing out these shadow projections, is that again, your mind is the quantum liminal space, and so it's like, yeah, you exist in there, but you're also interacting with a lot of other things in there as well, and you've been kind of refining and defining your space to be differentiated between you and these other astral energies or frequencies you're experiencing, perceiving, and feeling. And it's like spiritual technology coming out here again. So expand your imagination and share your visions, again, about visions. Anyway, so your psychic gifts are expanding, you're realizing, you're learning to trust and hone in on these abilities. Something else as well is that, you know, when we talk about psychic abilities and stuff, it makes us feel like, oh, we're so special, when actually you're someone who is very humble, in a way that maybe you feel like you always see the beauty in everything else around you and other people around you as well. And it's like, you don't think you're better than anyone else. This is the thing. You don't see other people in society as better than you if they have more money than you, or they're more successful, or whatever. And vice versa. You do not see yourself above people if they have less money, or they're in like a label in society that's seen as less desirable, this or that. You are detached from the 3D matrix programmings. And in that way, we fall into this trap of becoming so humble, because it's like we don't see ourselves as better or more than anybody. But in this way, you guys, it's kind of acknowledging the fact that actually, you know, we're not better or below or above anybody, yet we are very different. And with difference is beautiful, because it's not saying this is better nor worse, it's simply just different. Like, it's literally just different. And the thing that you guys are integrating to a deeper level is that you are different, okay? And again, this can be hard, because it's like we're all unique or individual, yet we're all consciousness separated out into its infinite forms, but you are different. And this is what you've been accepting, which pulls you into deeper connection with your psychic abilities, because in the projection of other people, like, you guys, you are very intuitive and you could predict things sometimes. And maybe throughout the past you've had projections of other people, thinking that they project onto you that you think that you're better than them, because you're either channeling advice to them, you're expanding their mind, or you're calling them up on programmings, or you are, you know, bringing love to them in a certain way, or you are kind of intuiting to a deeper level into their energy or something. It's like, this can trigger people sometimes, and they can project onto us, oh, you think you know everything? Look at this deck we have here. Awakening, and we have guidance, tarot cards. Some of you could read tarot cards, or you could have gone through an awakening and you could have shared that with others. You could have shared that I've been through an awakening, you know, I read this, I do this. And it's kind of like, sometimes people's ego projection can be like, oh, so you think you're better than me because you're giving me advice or something, even if it's out of a space of love. And so this is a distorted weight we can release, because yeah, you guys, you actually, from your end, you never see yourself as better or less than anybody, but in this way, it may have taught you to suppress your psychic gifts, or to just limit them. Not suppress, this is a funny energy. Because in that perception of others projecting that onto you, which is completely untrue, it's, you know, that's their own thing going on. But in that way, it kind of affects us and our intuition and what we're doing and saying, because then it's like, oh, I don't want to say this to someone in case they think I'm being this or that. It's like, you've been in a lot of cycles, you guys, but learning to trust your intuition, Yeah, because in the projection of them thinking, oh, so you know everything, you can predict the future or something, like that's such a distorted projection we're saying right there. And it's kind of like you guys in your mind respond to other people's energy projections, even if they don't say it to you. And in your mind, you're like, no, I don't know everything. I know I don't know everything. And it's because I don't know everything, I know that I know so much that I know I will never know everything, right? It's like, it kind of allows you to respond in that way that almost deconstructs you from being connected with your certainty of knowing, right? Because you have these interactions with people that are unspoken. They project energy onto you, you respond in your mind without them saying anything, without you saying anything. Okay, so it's kind of interesting how this has an impact and effect on our programmings and on the way we're showing up, because this is happening in an unspoken way. A lot of you have been reprogramming a lot of unspoken programmings that you've picked up along the way, because there's a lot, you pick up on unspoken energy all the time throughout your life, and that's unspoken energy projected onto you, or perceptions of you. Like we say, we're all just in a trap perception here, based on our programmings, unless we acknowledge that we're in that, and then we can kind of have both parallel experiences. And you're someone having those both parallel experiences, and this could have been an experience we're tapping into with someone who is in a very singular experience, okay? It's a little thing as well, because obviously this was a specific example, because not everyone's going to project that onto us. Like, our soul tribe actually confirms our intuition, and you know, not all projections we get are gonna be negative, okay? We get a lot of positive projections as well, unspoken, that we feel too. It's just that this one specific dynamic was being highlighted to be brought up, so I thought it was really prevalent and important. But it's not to focus on that and say all projections are negative. That's really not true, and it's really not true that these will be the same for all of your interactions, because we interact with all types of being and souls here. So not everyone, okay, like, you're someone who loves learning off other people, and so if someone was giving you advice, or if they were trying to tell you something, you'd be so receptive to hearing and listening to that, the same as there's many souls who will be the same with you. But again, I feel like there's other deeper dynamics into play within this. Maybe this was a particular cycle you've been through that you've come out of. I don't feel like you guys are here to try and awaken or teach or anyone. It's just like general conversation. You literally have general conversation with people, and it enlightens and illuminates others. And sometimes, you know, that can be triggering, and sometimes that can be like a godsend and really priceless. But we're just tuning in and focusing on that one little aspect within that reading, about, you know, the projection of, oh, so you're you know, people who can't maybe who feel like they can't accept or look outside of their own perception can be very triggering. That's what we're saying. You've dealt with people that can't look outside of their own perception before, and it's like, as a sensitive being and soul, maybe these are the kind of energies that would kind of throw you off a bit in the past or linger with you. Okay, but you have a lot of other connections and experiences you've had of soul tribe and people who confirm your intuition, people who are on the same wavelength as you. But I just think that maybe if there's any other points there where you did question your psychic gifts or abilities, it would have been in maybe lingering dynamics from those type of people. Like, maybe there was once someone in your family that you grew up with that was like this, or a relationship you had for a while like this, or a friendship or something, and so maybe that's why it was coming up. But yes, you guys, so it's kind of like, yeah, you have been strengthening your psychic abilities by also understanding that you are different, and like, that's really special energy to hold. Claim your truth, claim your power. Like, you guys are healers. You're reincarnated masters of magi's, angelic beings. You're connected to the Pleiadian activations. You're very healing. This is not just to hype you up, this is the truth. You're connected to the Anunnaki look, the Anunnaki light codes. You're connected to higher dimensional races of being. You can access the divine matrix and pick up on information that is unspoken. You can pick up on information from past, present, future of yourself or other people, inside yourself. You guys, you are connected to the seraphim frequencies. You are divine creators here. and you are all halls, you have all been through the halls of learning many times, and that's why you are teachers. You've been through the halls of learning many times. Look, spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. You are spirit guides for people, and all this can be fully accepted and integrated into your knowings. Yeah, you are. You really are. So I love you guys so much, and I will see and speak to you all in the next reading. Beautiful, beautiful souls. Mwah.